So I published a short recently about how the IRS can literally take your stuff. Someone commented, Carlupta Graft 8563 says the IRS can't take your stuff. The courts will order law enforcement um, to make it so. Well, I would say Carlupta Graft, the IRS can take your stuff. They don't need to go through the court system to garnish your wages, levy your bank account, levy your Social Security income, some other forms of government benefits, etc. They don't need to do that, unlike most other creditors who do, right? Um, if you're a landlord and your tenant stops paying you rent, you can't just go and garnish your tenants or former tenants' wages or levy their bank account. You have to take them to court. You have to get a money judgment against them, etc., etc. The IRS does not have to go through that process to start taking your stuff. All they got to do is send you sufficient notice of levy action, and I've covered what sufficient notice means in other videos. I'm thinking of one right here that you can see in the top corner of your screen. But once they've taken those things, once they've assessed a tax, they've issued you sufficient notice, they can send these levy notices to, in this case, this was a client's bank here, TD Bank, it was where he banked, basically saying, hey, this taxpayer owes us this much money, in this case about $313,000, and bank, you gotta give us the money up to this amount, right? That exists in the taxpayer's account the day this levy is served. There's a 21-day freeze period with the IRS, and that's a crucial period because during that period, the money's frozen in the account, but the bank hasn't sent it to the IRS yet. That's a crucial period to work something out with the IRS, even if it's just something short-term while you work on a longer-term resolution, just to prevent all that money from going to the IRS. Okay. And this 21 calendar days, it's different if this was a state levy. Here in California, I think it's a 10-day freeze, right? So it's a shorter period of time. And there's levy notices they could send to your employer, right? So let's say you work for a company, and the IRS can send a levy notice to your employer and say, hey, you got to give us such and such amount out of your employee's paycheck. Actually, the process is a little bit different than that. There's a table, right, based on filing status and number of dependents used to calculate the amount that the employer has to leave you in your paycheck, and the IRS gets the rest. I think I've covered that in another video. You can see that here at the top of your screen. But basically, same thing. My point is, in response to this comment here, the IRS can take your stuff. It can demand that your employer or your bank send them your funds, right? Or else the employer is going to be liable. And they can do that without a court order. Okay, they can do that without the courts. They can do that without law enforcement. They can, as long as they've taken the proper protocols described in the tax code that I've covered in other videos, they can just do this. They don't, unlike other creditors, they don't need to go through the court system and get a money judgment for this sort of thing. So anyway, folks, I have some other videos about IRS levies and garnishments here on the left-hand side of your screen. If you're dealing with tax debt, IRS debt, state tax debt, whatever, give us a call at Choice Tax Relief, 866-8000-TAX, or fill out the form on our website at choicetaxrelief.com, and we will reach out to you. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.